Okay, first of all, I apologize if you hear any boom boom, vibrational sounds during the recording here. I'm using my phone, and I'm going to probably get some like notifications of messages, texts, and all that. I also apologize if I seem a little distracted or you hear anything in the background. I have the 49ers Seahawk game on right now, so I do apologize for that. But anyway, I wanted to come on here and talk about some news related to the Sonic 3 movie. Now, obviously, we do have another trailer coming. Apparently, it'll be coming possibly very soon. I would assume in time for the Thanksgiving holiday. That's probably when they'll release it. But also, there was news made when I think Jeff Fowler, the guy behind the film, or behind the series of films, I should say, came out and said that a surprise new character is going to show up probably at the end of the film, most likely the post or mid credits, or mid credits, I should say, and that this character is going to help set up the next several films, or at least the next phase of the Sonic film franchise cinematic universe. And a lot of fans have been speculating, and rightfully so, as to who it could be. In fact, I think even Fowler and some of his team joked at the fact that it's going to be fun to see how a lot of the fan base is going to debate on who they feel it's going to turn out to be at the end of the film. And I like the fact that he's willing to play into how fans are always speculating as to who's going to show up next. And I know a lot of fans would love for him to really just throw everything out of left field, and out comes Sally Acorn. I know a lot of fans would love to see that because, yeah, she's a Sonic franchise character, but she's not a game character per se. She's been known for the comics. She's been known for, hold on. Like I said, I got the game on and everything, but I know people would love to see that because, yeah, she is a game. She's not specifically a game character per se, but, she is a prominent Sonic franchise character. She's from Sat.AM, the cartoon series. She made a cameo guest appearance in Sonic Christmas Blast, which, aired for the first time, I believe, on MeTV Toons yesterday. And she's known prolifically for her role in the comics, the Archie comics, and she's one of the more notable names out there that fans want to see in IDW, as well as in the games and other installments of Sonic down the line. So for a lot of fans, seeing, her show up, just out of left field, just help set up that next series of films and shows would be, a huge surprise. And it would, like I say, throw a lot of people off guard because you would have basically a lot of the film critics who like these movies researching and trying to figure out, okay, who's this character, find out who she is, and then see how popular and how long she's been around, and even make them wonder, okay, why hasn't she been used in other Sonic media afterwards? So her showing up would be huge. And that, again, would be throwing a monkey wrench out of left field into the equation. Of course, you got other names as well, like Amy Rose. People feel is, a very logical choice, to set things up. Rouge the Bat is very logical to, set things up. Silver, of course, with his, abilities of time travel and stuff, and being from the future or whatever, him showing up would be great. There's no doubt. Be a huge addition, especially if they want to go do the, some people are assuming go and do the, planet hopping, dimensional hopping and all that. But if I was to make a guess as to who I think it's going to be, more logically than anything, outside the fact that, yes, Amy is, a good choice. Amy Rose is a good choice. So is Rouge and all that. So is Vanilla. Even Vanilla and Cream showing up would be huge as well. There's no doubt. They'd be prolific. But I think the one character that most likely it could be outside of them, and most specifically Silver, and they have a connection with Silver, I think the character that's going to show up, more than likely is going to be Blaze. I have that feeling. I don't know why, but I have this feeling Blaze is going to be the one that shows up. Now, Could I be absolutely wrong about that? Sure, I could be absolutely wrong. There is no doubt. I could be totally wrong. Like I said, could I be totally wrong? Absolutely, I could be totally wrong. I'm not saying that I'm going to be 100% right. I don't think anybody guessing as to who it's going to be is going to be 100% right. I mean, for all we know, like I said with Sally, he could, throw us out of left field, throw us into left field, put a monkey wrench into things. And instead of just Sally, we see the entire core of the Knothole Freedom Fighters. Which means we would see Sally. We would see Bunny. We would see Rhoda. We would see Antoine. Hell, we'd even see Dulcie, maybe showing up. And who knows? Maybe Amy Rose is part of that. We don't know. We don't know. But, as much as I would love to see that outside of it just being Sally, as much as I would love to see that, I've got a feeling it's going to be Blaze. I don't know why. Again, Silver is a good choice, logically, to go in that next direction, planet hopping, dimensional hopping, if that's what they're going to do. Logically a good choice. Amy Rose, because she's been very prolific in the Sonic games and comics, I think would be a good choice, especially the way she's been positioned character-wise in her development. I could see her as a good choice. Rouge, the same thing. Maybe they both show up simultaneously. We don't know. But if I'm going to put, but if I'm going to be a true, I wouldn't say a true betting man, but if I was, which I wouldn't, put money on it, I got to say Blaze. Blaze, I think, would be perfect, for, that next logical step, going forward. I think she would be perfect. She's from the soul dimension. It expands, more of that universe we saw in that map that Longclaw gave Sonic, so in the first film. So I can definitely see Blaze, being the next one to show up. Because again, you tie in that map and everything that he got from Longclaw in the first film with all those planets. It makes a lot of sense that she would be the next in line with a connection to that. Again, I'm not saying Silver wouldn't be good or anything like that. Sally coming in totally out of the box, throwing a monkey wrench and everything. I wouldn't be against that either. I wouldn't be against. In fact, if I'm going to be honest, I would enjoy that more than seeing Blaze, more than seeing Amy, more than seeing Silver, more than seeing Rouge. I would love to see Sally show up. But again, it's all, like I said, it's all just speculation right now. But again, if I'm being logical, and again, I do apologize, I'm a little distracted. I'm watching the game right now. But if I'm going to be honest, I think all signs point to Blaze. And what's funny is no one is talking about Blaze. Not even Chris at 3C Films is talking about Blaze. Like I said, as much as I would love to see all those other characters, and Sally probably above them all, the most logical sense is going to be Blaze. And again, like I said, nobody's really talking about her. Not Chris at 3C Films, and I do apologize for that notification right there, a vibrational notification from Facebook Messenger. But like I said, nobody is talking about her. Nobody's saying it's going to be Blaze. Everybody's saying either Amy. Everybody's either saying, Rouge, or they're saying Silver, or they're saying Metal Sonic, and so on. But I have this feeling that it's going to be Blaze. Now, could they really supply? Now, could Fowler really supply prizes? Excuse me, there, and instead of it being Blaze, that like Sally, let's say bringing Sally in, as I mentioned, would be, sort of out of left field, throwing monkey wrench into things. Who's to say he won't look at the IDW comics and some of the mobile games and be like, that Surge character and that Kit character, I like them. I'm bringing them in. Who's to say it won't be them? Like I said, who's to say it won't be maybe them? And then again, like Sally, that would be something out of left field. That would throw a monkey wrench into things. Nobody would see it coming. And like Sally, it would cause anybody that doesn't know too much about them as of late, because they haven't been around that long, to look into them and be like, okay, who are these characters? That could be interesting. That could be interesting in its own right. And I'm not saying they wouldn't do that. But if I was to go logically, if I was to go logically, I would say it's going to be Blaze. Like I said, logically, it's going to be Blaze. Now, if it is Amy, obviously they're going to base it off her current character development that she's had in the games and in the comics and in the cartoons, and that would be good. And if it's both her and Rouge simultaneously, that'd be good too. But I'm going to go with Blaze. Because one reason I'm going to go with her, again, like I said, nobody's really talking about her. Like I said, because like I said, nobody's really talking about her, but also the fact that a lot of people are speculating. They're looking at all these little screenshots from in Entertainment Weekly, in the physical magazine and online. They're looking at them. They're looking at little details here and there with the trailers and trying to say, there's an open space there. There's an open space. That's going to be Rouge. Because you got that group shot, right? You got this group shot in Entertainment Weekly of Shadow and Eggman and Gerald, not Gerald, but Agent Stone. And there's a space right between Eggman and Stone. A lot of people are assuming, just pointing to that, going like, that's done. That's done for a reason. That's done for a purpose. That's got to be Rouge. That's got to be Rouge. And the same when Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles go to Eggman to confront him and talk to him about Shadow. There's a little space right after Knuckles, and people are assuming that's got to be Amy. That's got to be Amy. So I'm going with probably the most logical sense. Based on if they're correct or not with those assumptions, which again, not saying they are, not saying they are, not saying they aren't. But I'm going to go with the most logical character, in my opinion, based on not just, the next step of planet hopping and all that, which has been rumored, but also that map that Longclaw gave Sonic back in the first movie. I'm going with Blaze. So I'm going to go with Blaze. And that's my opinion. Like I said, could I be wrong? Absolutely. So in closing, what I believe, who I truly believe it's going to be logically, is Blaze. But if he wants to throw a monkey wrench, and throw us into left field, if you will, out of nowhere, like Randy Orton, he hits an RKO out of nowhere. If he wants to do that to us, then I would say the character that's going to be that character that comes out of nowhere, throws us into left field, RKO, if you will, wild card, surprise, if you will, monkey wrench, I'm going to go with Sally or Surge. Those are the two characters I believe are going to be the ones that would be like total surprises, total surprises and everything, that nobody would see coming, and it would cause fans to have to, tune in. And, not tune in, but it would cause, not just fans, but people that may not know much about them, it would cause them to have to look up, the background of these characters and probably wonder, okay, why don't we see more of them in the games or in other Sonic media and so on. But yeah, my most logical choice, I'm going with Blaze. I'm going to go with Blaze as the one. And I would say outside of Blaze, as a wild card, out of left field, out of nowhere, monkey wrench disruptor, I'm going to say if it's not her, then, like I said, out of left field, no one would see it coming. It's either Sally or Surge. So logically, my two top picks, Blaze, or three top picks, I'll put it this way, my three top picks, logically, with the direction they're going, number one is Blaze, if you will. Number two is Amy. Number three is Silver. So those are the top logical ones based on the direction they've been going with the films. My top three, out of left field, surprise additions, if you will, that no one would see coming. Sally, Surge, and the Freedom Fighters as a whole, with Amy. So Sally, Surge, and the entire Freedom Fighters, which includes Sally and Amy. That I believe would be the top. Those that I believe are going to be the top 3 out of nowhere, additions to the franchise. If Fowler really wants to like throw a monkey wrench into the equation and just really blow people's minds, if you will, just blow people's minds. But again, logically, it's got to be Blaze, Amy Silver, and out of nowhere, Sally, Surge, or the Freedom Fighters, which includes Sally and Amy. But that's what I believe. I'm going to go with Blaze as the most logical, and the one that's out of left field, I'm going to go, the one that's out of left field, but basically surprise addition no one would see coming, going to be Sally. Those are the top ones, along with the others that follow. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys, because hearing this kind of news and realizing that whoever comes in is going to set up the next phase, that's really interesting. It's really interesting. But let me know what your thoughts are. Who do you think it is? Who do you think is going to be the logical choice? Like, who are your top 3 logical choices? And who are your top 3 surprise additions that no one would see coming? Let me know. Love to hear your thoughts on it. And until then, again, I do apologize if I'm a little distracted and for some of the vibrational notification stuff. But let me know what your thoughts are. Love to hear from each and every one of you on this. And until then, I am out. Take care. God bless.